hope that you all enjoyed lunch. The raffle boards are now officially closed. Thank you to all of you who bought squares. And while I'm excited to find out who our winners are today, the real reason we are here is to help kids. And to share more about that, please join me in welcoming the Director of Community Impact at United Way, Taylor Sievertson.
Thank you, ladies. I have a couple things on my heart today that I'd love to share with you. First, I'd love to share a story of a little girl. Here's a picture of her. It was Halloween night, 1992, and she was so excited to be wearing her fairy costume. She was full of hopes, dreams, already had big aspirations for her life. And like all little girls, you could already start to see little clues of the person she would grow into. Spoiler alert. Well, that little girl didn't become an art teacher / veterinarian / singer like she thought she might. She did grow up and found a way to live out her passion each and every day. And she also became a mom to this little guy, Fallow. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. That's my 4-year-old son, and the similarities in this picture, nearly 3 decades apart, are a little uncanny. If we could zoom in, you'd see just how similar we look, and if you know my mother-in-law or plan to see her later today, please tell her you think so too. I think one of the most magical parts of being a parent is getting to witness those moments, those things that your child is good at, the things they love, their sweet little voice, witness the ways that they're growing into that person that they will become. But most of all, getting to see the world through their eyes, like a kid again. And as a mom, I want to be able to give my kid, my child, my son, Thallo, all of the wonderful things that I was blessed with as a child, and also make life easier for him in the ways that it was harder for me. And the hope I have for our community is that all kids have that they have opportunity, and that they have people who love them deeply. One of the reasons my role at United Way is so fulfilling is that we get to be that bright spot for thousands of kids each and every year in so many big and small ways. And one of those ways is through the school supply drive. This fall, 6,000 kids went to school this year with backpacks on their shoulders, with school supplies, full of confidence and hope for a new year ahead. This year marked 25 years of the school supply drive, and in that time, together as a community, we've been able to provide nearly 100,000 backpacks to local kids. Yeah, that's great. Those very same kids who are served by the school supply drive are experiencing other barriers to success that are rooted in poverty. Within 70 miles of where we are right now in this room, 200 kids will experience homelessness tonight. And in this very same community, the place we all call home, 37,000 of our neighbors don't know where their next meal is coming from. 40% of those experiencing hunger in our community are kids, where maybe the only meal they'll eat today will be at school. The root causes of why a family is hungry or experiencing homelessness or needs extra support through the school supply drive is so complex. But at United Way, we get to bring people together to tackle these big challenges, and then we get to witness the incredible solutions that are happening right here in our community. I believe as a community, it is our duty to care for those that are most vulnerable, because this is what helps break the cycle of poverty. Because of how we work in the community, we're able to invest in organizations that are having the greatest impact, truly being a multiplier of your generosity. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for being a part of that by giving. I have a couple of stories to share, and I'd love to share another story, and in doing so, I first need to introduce a lovely, wonderful woman in our community named Beth. Let's meet Beth.
My name is Beth Olson. I'm with Presentation Partners in Housing. I am the Housing Navigation Program Director. We were formed to have a program that really specifically focuses on people who are chronically homeless. Housing, both individuals and families, is a human right, the same as clothing, food, shelter. So what if we start by moving people into housing and supporting them in that housing and not giving up on them when things got hard? That's when the real work starts. That's when you're engaging with people, teaching them how to, set goals. We can really recover dignity to be a part of our community by giving them housing and then asking them what they need next. We found a huge reduction in emergency service usage. We save our community on average over $500,000 a year because we're able to reduce ER visits by 77%. The healing that happens when someone finally feels safe in their home, even the tiniest of changes, are just so massive. That's what housing navigation is really all about.
Beth's work is possible because of people like you who invest in this community. Beth also shared with us a story of a mom named Lauren who she was able to help. Beth and Lauren's lives intersected at this critical turning point. In fact, there's virtually no way that Beth and Lauren would have ever had the opportunity to meet if it weren't for people like you in this room who support this work. When the two women met, Lauren was at one of the lowest points in her life. She was struggling to find safe, stable, consistent housing for her two kids, and she had a baby on the way. As a housing navigator, this is what Beth does. Together, they were working hard to find housing as quickly as possible, and when it came time for Lauren's baby girl to arrive, things were still up and down in her life because homelessness is complex. And the day her healthy little baby girl was born, Lauren didn't call her mom or her sister or her best friend like many of us would do. She didn't have those supports in her life. She called Beth. Because at that point, Beth was the only stable connection she had in her life, the only person she had to tell that joyful news. Beth rushed to the hospital to be by her side, and Beth was there holding Lauren's hand when she found out that she wouldn't get to take her baby girl home from the hospital, knowing that she didn't have a stable place to go. Beth cried with Lauren as she accepted her reality and had to leave the hospital without her baby in her arms. As a mom, it's difficult to imagine what it would feel like leaving the hospital that day. Empty arms, empty car seat, this quiet car, no joyful moments at home together. But Beth and Lauren's story doesn't end there. With a motivation to reunite her family stronger than ever, Beth and Lauren focused on rebuilding her life and finding a home for her family. Beth was also there on the emotional day that Lauren got to walk into her home with all three of her kids by her side. That brings us to today. Lauren and her sweet baby girl and those two other kids are under one roof, working through the ups and downs of life, but this time with a stable, consistent place to call home and hope for a bright future. Together as a family. Together as a community, we provided that new path forward for this family that could have been much different without people like you who care. Homelessness was a story of their past, but not of their future. You made Beth's work possible by giving to United Way. Beth is here today with her mom as our guests of honor. Let's give these wonderful women a round of applause. Thank you. As moms and dads and community members, we all want the same thing. We want a better tomorrow for all kids. And that's United Way's goal too. That's why we're here today. Thank you for being a part of United Way's work to help kids. We are so exceptionally grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you.